So what's been happening in the rental real estate market in Ottawa? What's been the impact of COVID on the rental market? Let's find out. So here's the analysis, and before I get into that, let me just introduce myself. My name is Faiz Versey. I'm a real estate broker with LePage team Realty in Ottawa, and I'll be delighted to take you through this analysis. So what we're looking at here in this chart that you're seeing on your screen, it's the Ottawa rental market. These are numbers produced by the OREB. OREB stands for Ottawa Real Estate Board. And what this is showing, if you can see my cursor here in January, the prices have been rising steadily throughout, except for the little blip. I'll come back to that. And now in May of 2020, we are slightly higher than where we were at the beginning of the year. Along the way, as COVID struck somewhere here in March, April, we saw a slight dip in the prices. And if you've seen my other video that I did in respect of purchase and sale market, the resale market, as I described there, when we had this initial shock, this shell shock from COVID, the market kind of froze up. And because of the units being transacted dropping in that time, that possibly caused some aberrance. Is that the right word? Aberrance? Aberrance. Some little bit of decline in the rental price, but that wasn't really a good indication of what was happening. In fact, it was kind of misleading if we just look at this because of the sort of freezing up of the rental market and the units being transacted. Since then, the market has started to stabilize because as human beings, we've realized that coronavirus is here to stay. We have to deal with it. And as human beings, we adapt. So the unit activity has increased, and so has the trend in the prices. They've started to go up as well. The trend in the prices of rental real estate. So my friends, the trend is up, and that's because the market is hot. It's hard to find a property to rent. Let's look at another statistic as well, just to add to this analysis. So this is some information that I got from the CMHC website. So CMHC standing for Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, I do believe. And they produce lots of stats. Let me see what they're saying here. So they're talking about rental market indicators, privately initiated apartment structures of 3 units and over. And we're looking at, down here, Ottawa, Gatineau area. In October 18, the vacancy rate was 1.6, and here in October 19, it's 1.8. Can you see where my cursor is circling? So that's very low, 1.6%, 1.8%. Let's mosey on over to another chart as well. And in this chart, it's looking at private row, townhouse, and apartment vacancy rates by bedroom, And over here, it's saying Ontario, Ottawa, again in the range of total vacancy, because we're talking about vacancy, is approximately 1.8%. So that's all low. Normally when we see a vacancy rate, we say a normal vacancy rate is approximately in the range of 5%. So that allows for an orderly transition of tenants and new tenants, so tenants who are leaving and the new tenants are coming in, we can find enough rental housing for them. I'm just going to switch to one of the other graphs. But in this case, we have rental prices that are rising because of the shortage of rental housing in Ottawa. So what does this mean for the various people in Ottawa? What does this mean for landlords? What does it mean for tenants? And what does it mean for... Okay, we'll come to that. So for landlords, this is a good news. If rents are rising, then if you have a situation where one tenant is leaving and another one is coming into your property, you have an opportunity to increase your rents accordingly, according to the market conditions. And to best have that assessed for you, it's best that you contact a real estate broker like myself or anybody else that you know, and we can come in and give you an analysis of what is the potential market rental rate for your property. So that's great news for you. Now for tenants, well, it is what it is. This is the market. The rents are going up, such is life, and that's probably something that you're going to be faced with for all your life. If you're here on a short-term basis, fine, you'll deal with it. If you are here in Ottawa for a long term or you live here, then please do consider buying your own place. So the first step there is to save up enough money for your down payment. So stop spending money on things you don't need, okay? And then simply once you have your down payment, speak with a real estate broker or real estate salesperson, and we will help you to find a place of your own. Now, one more group that should heed what's happening, because we're talking about shortages of housing, rental, even in the supply and demand situation in the buying and selling scenario is very, very tight. Watch my video, I may have mentioned already, but that was a video that I did earlier in May. So the other group is developers. Developers should pay special attention to this, because it's actually, shortage of housing is probably going to become worse if this coronavirus continues, which is probably the case. Then there might be a drop in the productivity of new construction because of the social distancing scenario that the construction industry is going to have to deal with, and many other industries. So, which reminds me, as an aside, if you just as an aside, if some of you feel that I have a haircut or I have a hairstyle that looks pretty decent, the reason for that is I'm a bit lucky in that respect. My wife is a hairstylist, and the reason I thought of that is because I was thinking of the social distancing that they are also having to think about in their industry. And so folks, if you're waiting for a haircut, I'm okay. If you're waiting for a haircut, then you might still have to wait for a little while longer, because the government has not given us any indication yet of when they would allow hairstylists to open up. But construction industry people, they are allowed to go back to work. I think they're already back to work, but there is social distancing issues there. So for developers, you need to think about how you can help increase the housing stock in Ottawa. There's a huge shortage. So maybe you want to buy land and build on that. Very difficult, hard to find land. Or you may want to tear down and build a new property over there, possibly multifamily, depending on the zoning of that property. So I'll be delighted to speak with you about how all of that can work. So my friends, I hope you found this useful. This is my update for the rental market, which I haven't spoken about in some while. I've been talking mostly about the buying and selling market, the resale market. So this is what's happening in the rental market. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please do like the video. Please do share it with your friends. And as well, if you have any questions, anything that comes up that you'd like to clarify, please feel free to give me a call. I would be delighted to help you. And so, my friends, stay safe. I hope so. Well, this coronavirus problem is not going away anytime soon, according to my calculation. We'll have to wait and see. There is the end game, as I've mentioned a few times in my other videos, the end game being the vaccine, or now we're hearing vaccines in plural. So we'll have to see how all of that works out. In the meantime, friends, and my fellow humans out there, let's do what we do best, which is adapt, keeping in mind that we do have to we do have to try and stay safe, and we do have to be cognizant of all the government regulations. So until I see you again, please do take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.